Hello, everyone. My name is Paola. Welcome to Mindalia TV livestream, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to organized by Mindalia TV. In this occasion, we have the pleasure to have with us Mayara Asis. She is going to bring a talk titled "Transmute Your Sexual Energy into Higher Consciousness." Mayara is a quantum energy healer, spiritual coach, yoga instructor, and Reiki master with over 15 years of experience. But right before we welcome our guest, I would like to remind you all that if you would like to help the world through Mindalia, there are a few things that you can do. One of them would be to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mindalia TV. Another one is to give us a like on this video or leave a positive comment down below. Please know that with these actions, you're helping us reach even more people just like you, who can benefit from the content that we share in our channel. To allow your live interaction, please remember also there's a chat on the side of your screen. You can use it to ask all the questions that you would like to our guest, who will kindly answer to them by the end of her talk. Without further delay, I would like to welcome Mayara. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you on Mindalia.
Hello, hi Paula, and thank you Mindalia TV for receiving me and giving me this opportunity to share. So I'm excited to be here today, and yeah, talking about something that I really love, that is transmuting our sexual energy, because it is big part of our lives and our evolution. So we cannot like skip this, the sexuality aspects of us, and we need to integrate in a way that is actually helpful moving us forward in life. I see like how most of people in, if you observe society nowadays, we either had this energy suppressed, or we were overusing it, or using ways of manipulation, controlling others. And so I like talking about, what is sexual energy, how it can be used, how we can transmute for good in our lives and in our relationships. And yes, so I've been working with energy healing, and all kinds of energy subjects for many years, and I really love it, to understand what is going on, on the energetic levels, like where our eyes cannot see, what is beyond, our eyes. So all of that is so important for our health and for our body, for our minds, emotions. And this is the things that we couldn't learn in school. I hope one day we'll be teaching that for the kids in school, teaching about not only what is solid and what is in front of our eyes, like a book or a table or a banana and an apple, but really learning how to identify, how to work more with energy that is within and is around us. And when I talk about energy, I'm saying the life force, the energy of creation. In yoga, we call this energy prana. In Chinese medicine, they call this energy qi. Some other traditions call this energy orgone. Whatever name we want to give it, this is the universal energy fields, or the spark of life, the life force that we have. The reason why we are alive, and the plants are alive, and the animals are alive, is because of this spark of life and this energy. And the universal energy is just flowing everywhere, and is flowing within everything, including ourselves. So since this energy is the energy of life, the way this energy is moving and flowing within us, is what is how we can, let's say, know if we are healthy and we are balanced and we are in an harmonious flow. Now, when we have this energy blocked, that's when we have illnesses and all kinds of imbalances, being them mental, emotional, or physical imbalances. It's always related to where energy is blocked, or how we are blocking this energy because of either traumas that we had in life, or physical traumas, emotional traumas, or even mental beliefs that is also like limiting beliefs that we may have. So talking about this energy is so important, because when I say sexual energy is this energy it means the energy that we have closer to our first and our second chakra. That means by the base of our spine, in our roots, and in our sexual organs. This is our sexual energy, but we are a human being. So this is all part of our human energy fields. So once this universal energy fields or life force turns into a human being, then we call it an aura. Aura is the name that we give in most traditions to this energy force. So when we say sexual energy, it's just a way to identify that this is the energy related to sexuality, and this is the energy that begins in our pelvis and our first and second chakra, with the roots and the sacral. And but it's the same energy. It's not that it's a separate energy for sexuality and a separate energy for the heart. It's all the same energy. It's just that where it is vibrating and where it is flowing in this way, this is sexual, or if it's vibrating in the heart, it's love energy, but it's still all the same energy. So it's really, really amazing. It's an amazing subject, in my opinion, because I started just learning so much. I remember I was about 16 years old when I started learning about this. And I was like reading a book after book after book. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because I was having my own issues. I was having gastritis, I was having migraines, and I was a teenager. So I was also, having the teenager like emotional crisis and just being extra anxious and wanted everything for now. And I was just like struggling, my early teenager phase. So my mother found me a Reiki healer, and that's when I started learning it. And because traditional medicine, they were not able to deal with my gastritis and my migraines. And I was trying, but nothing was really working. So when I started doing Reiki and she started balancing my energy, soon I had no more gastritis, I had no more migraines, and I started learning how my anxiety was actually creating these issues. And I was also learning so much more. That was just the beginning, as you guys can tell. I've been doing it since then, and just learning more and more and more. And I know that I still have so much more to learn. So yeah, our sexual energy is the energy of creation. Our energy of creation, this is how we create another human being. But this creative energy can also be used in other aspects of our lives. We don't have to use this energy only to create babies. We can use this energy to put in projects, for our life, in professional projects or for health. And we can use this creative life force for so many things in our life. As an example, like say if you are a musician and you write your own songs, or if you're a painter, you make these beautiful paintings. When this energy is flowing well, you feel inspired. You can write like almost 10 songs in one day, or you can make amazing paintings. Now, if this energy is not flowing, I'm sure you heard about stories of some artists that when this happened, they didn't have this energy flowing. They were blocked, so they couldn't find that inspiration. But you don't have to be an artist for this energy to work the same way in your life. So let's say if you have goals for your physical body, and you want to maybe get stronger, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe there's something you want to learn, a new technique, a new exercise modality. You need this energy flowing because it's motivating you, it's inspiring you, it's helping you to get out of bed, and have the motivation. Also, related to your life and your goals and your career, you're gonna have the same, that drive, and that inspiration about what to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. You're gonna feel inspired, like, oh, I'm gonna go to this place today, and maybe you don't even know why. It's that kind of inner intuition or inner knowing. And then you go to this coffee shop or something, then you meet someone, or you make that phone call and it's exactly the right time. This is all like signs when this energy is flowing, it's just moving us in life. And most people, just getting situated here, because of the way our society is nowadays, which we are changing, thank God, but because of the way our society is, and religion and society in general, either we were suppressed and we were always told what to do and not to do, what is okay, what is not okay, how to behave, how to not behave. So many people had this energy suppressed. So when I talk about the chakras, um, nowadays lots of people heard about the chakras. I don't know if you are really familiar with it or not, but we have seven main chakras. We have more, but seven main ones that you will hear most people talk about. We have the three lower chakras, that is the stomach, the sacrum, that is below the belly button, and the roots, the base of the spine. Then we have our heart chakra, and then we have our throats, our third eye chakra, and our crown chakra. So seven main chakras that are more above and below and within, But those are the ones along our spine. And what they're like energy vortexes where this life force that I was talking about is concentrated, and they are nurturing. Let's say my throat chakra is receiving the life force, the universal life force, the spark of life, and is concentrated to nurture my throats, my glands. That is in this case, is my thyroid glands in my throats, and is also related to my mouth and my ears. So my heart chakra, this energy, the universal energy, like it's kind of almost like sucking in, like receiving this life force energy, and is um, nurturing my lungs, my heart, and my thymus glands, and each chakra has also psychological aspects as well, or related to something like how love. Let's say the heart chakra is how how open our hearts is to love, unconditional love, not only romantic love, love towards the earth, definitely self love, love towards others, towards the animals, the plants. How open our hearts, is to unconditional love. The throat is related to how I can speak up my truth, how can I express my truth? How can I receive as well? Because it's about taking in. How can I receive the gifts from life? So this is just an example. I have also information on my channel about the chakras and all that. You can find information also most places online if you're interested. It's really amazing to know. But when I talk about the sexual energy, um, spiritual energy or spirits, the way it comes, let's say, to our physical body through the crown chakra, or in any way it comes, like let's say in the crown chakra, is the highest vibration. Is there, if I was, and each chakra connects to a musical notes as well, like a musical tune. And you can actually, nowadays you can measure it. And so the seventh chakra is the highest pitch, I would say, the highest form of the energy is vibrating in its more subtle and highest form. And then it gets lower and lower and lower and lower and lower in vibration. So as is and when I say lowered in vibration, is also it's slowing down its frequency. And again, it can be measured, and it can also be attuned with musical instruments. It's really amazing how it works. Like let's say if I have a singing bowls, the singing bowl that is gonna resonates with the crown chakra. There are instruments that measure it, or people that have attuned ears or even hands you can feel. It's gonna be like high pitch and louder, and it's going to be really. Now if I go measure my roots chakra, that is the first, it's going to be more like whoa, like it's like just denser, slower, like deeper. And so the spirit energy is in this highest form here, the crown, and it goes slowing down in vibration until it gets to the second chakra, that is the sacral, and the first chakra, that is the roots. Then it turns into our sexual fluids. For the men is the sperm, for the women the eggs. So when we talk about transmuting our sexual energy, it is the path of not locking this energy. Like, so again, back to what I was talking. Most of the people, they have this energy, like the first and second chakra, it never comes up to the third into the hearts, and it never goes higher than the hearts for most people. The sexual energy either stay locked in there, so they're repressing their sexuality. They may have even hard time to have orgasms, or they may have sexual relationships, even may have orgasms, where they know that the energy is just repressed. They feel that they could be feeling much more. Or sometimes people are overusing it through like constant masturbation and pornography, or even just having sex like all the time, and even with like different partners, just more like following almost like the primitive animal instincts. And that's a way is a waste of this energy, because this is a very powerful energy. So when we don't know when we are abusing it, like any other substance, it is a waste of this energy, and it's a powerful energy that we don't want to be wasting. Because when we are wasting this energy, that's when we don't feel as inspired in life. We have goals that we cannot accomplish. We start something and we don't quite finish our projects. We need a coffee, we need an energy drink to get out of bed. Although, we don't have inspiration for something that we want to do. So all of this is showing how we're just misusing this energy. And even I know some people, they may not even notice. They may have the way, like they're almost like numb to it, and they have their like robotic way of doing things. Because if people never experience anything better, they cannot, how can they even know if their whole life they were down here? They never experienced being up here. So the only way to experience is by trying, by doing it, by experiencing yourself. I can be talking here for like 3 days, but I can never explain anything until you can never really feel it until you actually experience it for yourself and just try it out. So, and I'm not saying that we cannot have sex. What I'm saying is like learning how to redirect this energy and how to transmute this energy. So, there are some people that practice Tantra, that they're really practitioners, they're really dedicated, really committed. The men, they stop ejaculating. They still have orgasm much stronger than this 5-second orgasms that we are used to. They start having full body orgasms. They start having multiple orgasms, and that goes for women too. And many of the women, they can stop ovulating. They can stop menstruating. And that's when I'm saying, because when I was saying how this energy comes down and turns into our sexual fluids, our eggs, as if you're a woman, or the sperm if you're a man. So they are transmuting this energy so much that this energy staying high vibration is circulating through them. They should have the energy down there, let's say, but they're circulating and circulating. So they don't need to ejaculate or to menstruate. And I'm not saying that this is a goal that you have to achieve, because there are many paths, let's say for enlightenment or for joy or for bliss. We all have different paths. If you find like a native person, an indigenous, they have different ways and it works for them. So depends on the culture. You don't have to follow anything specifically. So you're gonna find within yourself what is the best path for you. Also, like for these women that stop menstruating, they can still have kids. They know how to reverse it, and how, because it's all through meditation and breathing techniques. So they know if they want to have kids, they know how to allow it. And the same thing for the men, they know how to ejaculate. They just choosing not to, because since this, when the man ejaculates, there is a lot of life force energy that comes out with the ejaculation. So it's almost like they are depleting themselves, not only of this energy, but also nutrients. The semen has a lot more nutrients than bloods. If you measure a drop of sperm and a drop of blood, the sperm has much, much more nutrients that actually is really necessary for the body. So especially for men that are overly masturbating all the time, they're wasting all this energy. And nowadays there is even this movement online that is called no fap, and men are sharing when they stopped just masturbating all the time, and especially watching porn, and just they start being more aware of how they're using their energy. They were saying how their life changed. Now they were making lots of more money. They look prettier. And you can see that's a fact because you accumulate this energy instead of wasting it. So they had more energy to do things in life. That's why they were making more money. Then they start looking prettier. They're exercising more. And I know some people will be like, oh, but someone says it's healthy to ejaculate because otherwise you're going to have prostate cancer or this or that. So I'm not talking about holding your semen and just locking it there and just like depriving yourself. I'm talking about is all through breathing. So one thing is like if you want to ejaculate and you squeeze it all in and you just like stop yourself and you have that. But another thing is if you're able to breathe this energy up, because the orgasm, regular orgasm, is lasts the most 5 seconds, and it's the explosion that stays on this first and second chakra, and it's just the explosion, and that's it. And then with the man, usually the ejaculation comes. But the ejaculation and orgasm, they're two different things. So when the man learns how to breathe this energy up instead of pushing this energy out through their penis, they can have orgasms that will last much longer, and that will be just much more pleasurable. Or they can have, or they don't have to stop as well after the orgasm. If you're a man, most of the men, they know after ejaculating once, they just want to sleep, they're done, they want to, and there are even other factors as well that I'm not even getting into. But if you learn how to transmit your sexual energy like that, then you just have more energy. You don't have to stop. You can go for as long as you want. And again, doesn't mean you have to fully let go of ejaculating. It's just something nice to learn to have control of. And so you can play with it. You can play for as long as you want, and you don't have to just get out of the almost addiction to start and already try almost like to reach the end line. And so the sex act becomes something that is much more enjoyable all the way through. It is not about reaching that point, and gives the woman as well more time, because women, we are naturally built for that too. So we don't have to stop on the first one, and our orgasms can get deeper and deeper. So this is one part of sexual energy transmutation. You don't have to be in a relationship. You can be by yourself, single, and as well transmit this energy, because that's through meditation, through breathing, that you can do by yourself or with your partner. So another point that is really, really interesting and important, in my opinion, is first like understanding how we get out of, let's say, right now on planet Earth, most of us have heard about the ascension process and how we as human beings, we are ascending, we are raising our vibrations, we are beginning to, even though we see a bunch of things messed up, but at the same time, we are in this points in history that we are finishing the age of Pisces. We are getting to the age of Aquarius. What it means is a new era, is a new time for humanity. So we are ascending as human beings. We are just becoming more aware, more conscious. Part of this ascension process is for us, and even if you observe like from years and years and years ago, like when we know like the cavemen and the cave women, they were very primitive. They were living mostly like animals. And by living like animals, all they cared was be safe, eat, and reproduce. So pleasure, pleasure, reproduce. And that was everything that we cared about as animals. That's how most animals live. And the thing that differentiates us, the human beings, doesn't mean that we were not connected with God or source, just in a different way. And then we have evolution, evolution, evolution. We start evolving our brain, which has good and not as good, let's say, effects as we see in society. We learn how to make airplanes and things like that, but at the same time, we made like nuclear weapons and all that. But we still keep going in this evolutional path. It's just, part of nature, how it is. So what is happening now? That's why, like, if you think about 40 years ago, almost no one were talking about these kind of things that we were talking nowadays, like energy and spirituality that much. Religion was more something like closed in a box. Now so many people are talking about energy and raising vibrations and helping the planets. And before, people were just not on that level, not on that frequency. People were just literally living, paying their bills, reproducing still, and making money. And this is all related to the three lowest chakras: make money, eating and sex is related to pleasure, and being safe. This is the three lower chakras. No hearts. Nobody would pass the hearts. Now we are passing through this bridge. The heart is the bridge. The higher chakras are the spiritual dimensions. So we are opening our hearts. So that's the bridge. And the reason why most people don't never pass this, because our hearts were closed because of traumas, being traumas with our parents, even traumas from society that we live in school, traumas in relationship. Most people had a broken heart at a certain point in life. Most started from the parents because their parents were also traumatized and having a hard life themselves. So energetically, we could never pass through these gates or this bridge that was the hearts to find the higher dimensions. And now we are doing this. So part of transmuting our sexual energy is learning to master our instincts instead of just acting as primitive animals. When we talk about sexuality and just pleasure and just eating, just pretty much primitive animals with money. Now we are beginning to embody our higher selves and our divine self with our humanness. We also know examples of people that had completely detached of all the human aspects, money, relationship. I don't want to know about this. I'm just going to pray and meditate all day because that's too much. And so I'm sure you've, known or seen, like heard of people like that. This is also not the full integration. I know there are some really spiritual teachers that they're advanced souls, that they came here and their only mission is to just help us. And I believe that, and I'm thankful for them. But as far as most of us human beings, now it's time for us to integrate our spiritual self and our human self. So that's when we need to learn to control and master our instincts. We cannot be just primitive animals anymore. And by controlling our instincts, one thing that is helpful, either if you are in a relationship or if you're single. If you're in a relationship, it's nice to do it together for partner, of course. But to do a time of celibacy. Celibacy is sexual abstinence, where you're not having sex and you're not masturbating. And the time that is usually suggested is 21 days, 3 weeks, because when you do 3 weeks of anything, your brain starts to build new neural pathways. You may not know how sex is really kind of dominating your life. Even in a relationship, there is always that thing in the back of our minds, or we're not having enough, or we're having too much, or when we're gonna have it. Or even you start to learn and observe your instincts. Like as a woman, usually if I'm not in a relationship, I try to be celibate for as long as I can. And by celibate, I mean not even masturbating. And I notice how when I'm ovulating is when I have that desire and I feel like I want to masturbate or I want to be with someone. Or so it's just nice to observe that, so you're not like just blindly following it. Let's say if I was unaware, that's when I would maybe go out and maybe start seeing someone that maybe I was not there, just because of the impulse, and then afterwards, or like, shoot, I shouldn't done it, or like call an ex or something like that. So it's good for us to master our instincts. That's not even only with sex, with anything. Food is a big one. Like if you do a detox here and there, do a fasting here and there, not just go. And if you have an attachment to something, maybe smoking weeds, whatever it is, just try it. Go 3 weeks without it. Challenge yourself to be stronger than your instincts. So you are master. You are master of yourself. So sexually, if you do a time of celibacy, that's when you are gonna just start to be able to manage your animal instincts. And for men as well, that's so important, because men is always bombarded, and women as well, but men is so bombarded through TV, propaganda, movies, people outside. always bombarded with sexual images. So for the men, it's so important that, that they're not just dominated by their lower instincts. And also, once you do 3 weeks of celibacy, you can do more, it's always recommended, but you're also rebuilding that sexual energy that you wasted, for your whole life, like pretty much since you started having sex or masturbating. When was the last time you actually took a break? And I'm not saying, again, just being single and not having physical sex, but I really take a break of even masturbating and just observe. So you're going to rebuild and recharge the energy. And that's the best time to start doing exercises to transmute your sexual energy. You can reach out to me, if you want more information, or I have some information on my YouTube channel. There is a lot of information online too. Meditations that you practice on a daily basis. One of them is called the Microcosmic Orbits, where you're breathing energy up the spine and breathing it out down when you're kind of circulating the energy. There is another meditation that is called the Path of the Two Serpents. There are many kinds of breathing and meditation that always doing is bringing this energy from the bottom of the pelvis up to the head, from the bottom and up. And sometimes it's circulating, sometimes it's just bringing it up. This is what it is, named also the Kundalini rising. So when it's done like that in a safe way, that's when you can start opening up those higher channels and energy channels that they are already there, but they're almost like dormant. So in the beginning, you may not feel anything, but you have to just be consistent and just keep practicing, practicing, practicing. With time, you may start feeling a heat in your body. With time, you may have like a lot of almost like awakening or enlightening experiences when you like, some even through sexuality or with someone or by yourself, that you can have a moment of full-on opening and bliss, and for a moment to understanding everything. And this is really, really healing and life-changing and empowering to have those moments, even that they last for seconds, but we can keep bringing what we learned into our life and this new awareness, and it starts, like I said, integrating more of our spiritual self, our higher self into our life. So yeah, other than celibacy and then practicing this breathing exercise, meditation exercises, you can Google stuff about it. As far as the men, if you are interested in learning how to separate orgasm and ejaculation, that is as well information online. I have also a playlist called Sexual Empowerment that I share videos from many people, talking about this. Is really good for men to learn so men can become multi-orgasmic as well. For women as well, certain things that women can do as well to become multi-orgasmic or to just tap into that, because we already are, but the best part of it is, like I said, is how this will have an effect in our lives, in how we feel, in our energy, and in our goals, in our, just determination to do things, in our willpower. So you're gonna is go side by side. And some people, they want to stay single for many reasons or because they don't have a partner yet. But if you have a partner, it is really amazing and takes the relationship to a whole other level when you can start practicing some of these exercises together. And they go from eye gazing to breathing techniques that we do together with a partner, and also like some kind of playing like with awakening your body in different ways. And the sex, sometimes like if we're just having regular sex, it can become kind of mechanical after a certain time. So it's a way that we are learning new things. So it's almost like allowing yourself to be a full-on beginner again. And just, especially for a man, I notice sometimes men have a hard time with it, at least in my experience. They may be like, oh, you don't think I know what I'm doing, or I'm not doing good enough. Or it's like, no, let's be a beginner again. Let's just be like a baby again, learning how to walk, So you learn different things in the body that gives your partner pleasure. You learn how to be with your partner in different ways that are not just the penetration. And honestly, we can have orgasm without even penetration. you know. So there is just so much, and I'm a beginner myself, you know. So and I love, like, I share whatever I have learned, but I know I have so much more to learn and experience, and I'm definitely going to keep sharing because I believe that this is really important. And also healing, like this also transmuting the energy in this way also helps to heal traumas that so many of us had. So, like I was saying, the energy stays blocked, and then the energy can flow because there's always like rocks on the path, on the way, you know, the energy. So doing this kind of exercises is gonna start like losing up those blockages because of traumas that we had, and or even beliefs, you know. So we're just healing ourselves, and we're embodying more of ourselves. So so yeah, like it's my pleasure to share, and you're definitely welcome to reach out anytime, and if you have questions or anything like that. And let's see if we have any questions so far, you know.
Thank you
And
so much,
thank
Mayara.
you.
Thank you for all the information that you have shared live with us. Before we
Yeah.
start with the audience questions, I would like to remind you all that Mindalia is a nonprofit organization, and our main goals are to spread human knowledge and to promote planetary solidarity by all means. An important way to collaborate with Mindalia is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mindalia TV, since by doing so, YouTube shares these videos with more people around the world. Now it is time to pass on to the audience questions to our guest. Mayara, I'm going to have you on camera and I'm going to pass them on to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's check it out. The first question we have here says, I feel my heart chakra is a bit closed. What can I do to open it?
Yeah, that's such a good question because it's something that a lot of us struggle with. Um, there are two ways to approach it, to see it. Of course, there is a way that you're gonna try to kind of understand why, because we cannot kind of bypass, the causes of it. That's almost like a shadow work, what we call understanding the causes, and there may be because of one or because of 10 exes that you had that you kind of got hurt from the relationship, maybe traumas you had with your parents. So it's not about digging into it and just kind of replaying the scenario, but it's about really understanding it and choosing to process it and choosing to kind of see in a different way, almost like choosing to let go. And almost like if you see this in a way that this, let's say, I've been carrying this with me for my whole life, and I know maybe it was something that was not fair, or this or that, but whatever it is, even if it was something that was not fair, and but it's like, okay, am I gonna be holding this and allowing this that someone did to me affects my entire life? That way, like you're giving your power away to the person or the people that did wrong to you. So it's like, of course, you can still, um, not allow that to happen anymore in any way you can, or create boundaries within, like as far as what kind of people you allow in your space or things like that, as much as you can. But a letting go means taking your power back. So you're not allowing someone who has hurt you in the past to dictate, let's say, to be the reason why you were a failure in your life, in a sense, like the reason why things don't go well with you, because you're going to hold that forever and be in a place of victim forever. So I know it's easier said than done, and of course, but that's like an inner work that we have to do to be able to fully let go, and let go of what doesn't serve us. And so as we let go of that kind of energetic blockages that we're holding, we are opening a space for new, better opportunities. And another way, is a more practical way, let's say, that is like helpful, is in meditation. If you think like that your heart has a nose in the front and in the back, so you can literally visualize a nose in the front and in the back of your heart, and you're gonna breathe in this life force, like you inhaling through your heart, through the front and back. And as you inhale, you feel your heart expands with this life force. As you exhale, you just let this energy travel through your body, up and down the spine, to your legs, to your arms. And then again, you inhale, through your heart's nose, to the front and back. And really take this long and deep inhale, expanding, and even longer and deep and exhale, allowing this energy to travel through. The color of the heart chakra is green. So if it helps, like some people are really visual, you can visualize this energy coming in a color green, and you can visualize your whole body turning green. Or you can visualize the color rose, like light rose too, that's more like the in love color, that's a good color too. Another way is as well, like you inhaling this energy, and then you exhale through, like down, like if you imagine like you inhaling the green or the rose, and you exhaling maybe like the color gray or dark brown. You exhale it out of your root chakra, so you inhale in new possibilities, new opportunities, love through the heart, and then you exhale all the way down through the roots, anything that you were holding that is not serving your best. You exhale it down and out to the earth, and you thank the earth for transmuting this energy for you. And it's so powerful. You can do either standing up or sitting down, and know that you just gotta keep doing it. And because your intention is really what is guiding the energy more than anything, and the visualization too, but before the visualization is your intention to let go, to release, to move past, certain things, so definitely I love, like, sometimes just sitting down and just breathing through my heart, and that's my favorite meditation. And you notice then we go to the minds and we start worrying or getting anxious, and then you bring the awareness to the heart and just breathe through the heart, and just that alone for anyone is really, really amazing. Yeah, thank you for your question and for interacting.
Thank you, Mayara. The
Thank
next question
you.
comes from Lupita Garcia. She's asking, what do you think about this topic with teenagers?
About which topic? This topic about talking this with about this with teenagers. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and it is, I believe it's like, I know it's kind of delicate because we as let's say adults, we can get, sometimes we don't know how to talk about these things, but it's so important that we do, so important. Like, I wish I had learned this when I was younger, even about the energy transfer or energy exchange, when we have sex with someone. Like, I wish I had known that when we have sex with someone, we are actually holding on to part of the person's energy, and we also giving part of our energy to them. So when we have sex with like many partners, we start to having this almost like this pollution of so many people's energy in us, and we go through our whole life with all this energy until we learn how to cleanse and how to detach all those cords that we've created and all this energy mess. So sometimes people are having like kinds of, you know thoughts in their ways, just giving information like that. So I don't know how young, I know people have different levels of, like, different ways or time that they are mature, more mature than others. Usually girls are earlier than boys, but if you have, especially if you have teenagers, like, how when you think they're ready, kind of, you can almost kind of feel, right, when they're like starting to, look at the other, like, say, the other boys, if they're a girl, or talk about girls, if they're boys, or that can. I hope, like, schools. I was called to teach in a college the other day, and I thought that was amazing. I hope, like, schools start to have at least a class, a year, like, about things like that. But yeah, definitely talk to the teenagers. So important. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Mayura. The next question
Thank
says, what
you.
can you tell us about women's cycles? Does the energy changes depending on the time of the month the woman is on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is another thing, that we have lost as society. This awareness, these teachings, like most of the, say, indigenous traditions, natives, like, back in the days, they even had, in some traditions they call the red stance. Other traditions they had other names. But when we were in tune, more in tune with nature, when we were living more in tune with nature, that means in tune with the circadian rhythm, We are like waking up with the sunrise. We're going to sleep with the sunset. We are eating from the earth. We were not eating that much processed foods. That was not like all this artificial lighting at night. So that's why naturally we would go to sleep earlier. At that time, believe me or not, every woman they would have their cycle at the same time with the new moon. And that's pretty crazy to think how every woman they would have their cycle together. So they would go to this red stands, or there are other names too, and they would be there for like about 3 days. And that's when the men would cook, would take care of the kids, like the women would not be bothered. But that's also the most spiritual time for women to really connect with spirits and receive messages. So they would come out of this red stance with guidance for the men, as far as like, okay, as far as spiritual guidance for their hunting, or for their even wars or whatever was happening. So they would come out with messages. But even nowadays, most of the women, like women that have monthly cycles, we are always menstruating either with the full moon or with the new moon. And sometimes, if you notice, if you start observing yourself, sometimes oscillates between full moons and new moons throughout the period of our life. Sometimes it goes in between just to kind of balance, but usually you're going to be having periods like full moon or new moon, unless you're having hormonal imbalances, you're not having your cycle every month or something like that. The most natural would be for women to have their cycle on the new moon, and then women would be fertile or ovulating in the full moon. And that's why in the full moon there is all like this kind of like sayings, like that's when women they're ovulating, they're ready, to have sex, and they're ready to have babies, to kind of be fertilized. And the men kind of go crazy naturally in the full moon, where people want to go out and they don't want to sleep, because that's how this is part of still our human cycle and human nature. But so when women are ovulating is when women are naturally more inclined to have sex or to try new things. I'm even doing an online course. It's not my course, it's one that I'm participating, that is teaching about each stage of the month. And it's so amazing for us women to learn. Even if we are not having our cycle in the new moon or the full moon, doesn't matter. But it's important for us to know how, let's say, when we are premenstrual, and that's when, let's say, people, sometimes women can get angry or nervous or jealous or this or that, and that the family will complain or the boyfriend will complain. Because when we are premenstrual, they call, is a phase that we are definitely more sensitive. We should really be taking a break, be really relaxing. We should not be doing the same things and being as active as we would be in the other times of the month. And that's the time of the wise woman. Yeah, that's the name, the wise woman. That's when women are really more introspective and all that. So the reason why we have PMS and all that is because we are not respecting our cycle. We are forcing ourselves to work and to cook and to take care of husband and family and kids and job. So that's why we're like, our nerves are up here, because ideally we're not listening to our bodies. What our bodies want is to take it easy, especially when it comes to the first couple days of our cycle. That's like, at least, like, if you can, and a lot of us cannot, depends if you have like a 9 to 5 job, we would take a day, at least an afternoon, to just lay down and just relax and just not do anything, and maybe prepare your foods before, ahead of time, like a day or two. Make your meals if you have kids, or maybe ask your partner to cook for that day or two. So, and then, okay, after the cycle, that's when I say that in the time of the ovulation, that will be like 2 weeks after our cycle started. That's when is our time to go out and to, like, say, if I want to make a YouTube video, that will be my time. If I want to go to a job interview, that will be my time. It's a time that I'm blossoming, that I have energy, and sexually is the time that I'm more open as well to receive, and then I want it and I want to try things. So it's really amazing to observe, and there is of course a time of preparation, the peaks and the lows. So it's so amazing, and I'm really loving this course. There is really like, I'm observing in my own self and learning as well. So it's something that we lost it before. We would learn from the elders, and that's why the red stands. the elders would start teaching the younger. Even like when we have our first cycle, before it was celebrated, and the elders, they would kind of almost initiate the young girl and have a celebration and explain her the ways, explain us her about the cycles of the moon. And we lost that, in the society. So now it's time for us to start, bringing it back, this knowledge. And I don't know if I really answered the question, but I think so.
Great, Mayara. The next question says, could we use our sexual energy to heal illness in our bodies?
Yeah. The way, like I would say, the way it would be healing is by moving blockages, and the energy is like water. The natural state of energy is always flowing, is always moving. Energy is never stagnated. So when we see like water, if water stays stagnated, not moving for a while, it's almost like it's gonna go bad. It's gonna have like, it's gonna smell bad. It's gonna have like flies, and if the water is stagnated, water is supposed to be moving, or it's gonna evaporate and come down. So it's always in a state of change. The same thing our energy, and then illnesses in the body is related. Like there is always, when we see on an energetic level, we're going to see energy blockages. So it's almost like if we throw stones in our pipes, so the energy is not flowing anymore. So I wouldn't say only sexual energy, but like in this case, I would say just energy, our human energy. So as we are flowing, and this we can be done through energy healing, like Reiki or quantum healing, like I do Barbara Brennan healing. There are so many kinds of energy healing. You just, the only thing is you have to find a practitioner that is really well prepared, because there are many people nowadays that they're just not well prepared. So when they're doing it anyways, but when you find someone that is really well prepared, can help you to use this energy to allow to make this energy flow again. And that's at the same time when we can see things that can be considered a miracle. And even through my own teachers, I've heard like histories of them with their own clients that, let's say, the tumor, they had a tumor, now there's no more tumor, or someone that was able to walk again, like really things that we would call a miracle, or even other kinds of illnesses that the doctors were saying is not going to have a cure, and or this or that. And then through moving this energy, through energy healing, and even through breathing exercise, meditation, many ways you can start. And definitely lifestyle change, because this is what clogs our pipes, our diets, and definitely exercising, but especially our diets. If our diet is toxic, it's gonna clog our pipes. So it's not gonna. So as we cleanse all that and make this energy flow, we can heal. And even with me, like I was saying, I was having gastritis, and the doctor said that gastritis, we don't have a cure for gastritis. I just had to live with it and just manage it as I go. And I have no more gastritis, after I start doing Reiki. And gastritis is not even that, let's say, it's bad, but there are other things that were really like a miracle, like if a tumor disappearing, and then they're like, it's a miracle. So if we Google online, so many people are sharing their stories of miracles happening because they holistically treated something. It means they help the energy start flowing again where they were blocked. Doesn't matter how the illness started, and this thing is, when we see physically, there will be an energy block. So if we remove that block, if the energy flows, then the illness will be better. Even mental illnesses too, but some mental illnesses are more, it's kind of more challenging, So, but even that, like, can be healed with through moving this energy and through lifestyle change, especially diet change.
Great. Thank you, Mayara. And we have reached the
Welcome.
last question. And it's a pretty quick one. It says, how can you recommend to help anxiety? You mentioned earlier in your during your talk that you had a period of anxiety. So what can we do to help it?
Oh yeah, like I was really bad before, and that bad that I was just like overthinking every night, scenarios back to back to back in my mind. But what helped me at that time, I did energy healing sessions with someone. So that definitely helps because sometimes, like say, we can be the best, let's say, ball player but it's still like to win the Olympic game, we still need a coach. Even if you play amazing, we still need a mentor, a coach. So that's when working with someone may be helpful. It's not saying that you cannot do it by yourself. Of course you can. By yourself, you may be able to do it through meditation. And I know that for some people, it's even hard for them to think about meditating. They may be, oh, I'm so anxious, how I'm going to sit down and meditate. But the way I like doing it, you can also start, that's when yoga helps. And I say yoga because yoga is really specific. The poses are opening energy channels. That is a breath pattern that we do with the movement. It's really conscious. It's different than just a regular exercise. So the yoga is like a moving meditation. And let's say when you do something like a yoga, or even if you choose to do other kinds of exercise like running, you are almost like preparing your body and your mind to be able to meditate, to be able to do a still meditation. So then when I sit down to do a still meditation, it's not just about, let's say, I'm not going to think about anything, because that can be really hard for most people. Just sit down and, okay, turn off, not thinking. When I meditate, I like doing breathing techniques or visualizations. Let's say one visualization or breathing technique that I like is like I inhale to the bottom of my belly and I expand there. And I keep inhaling, expanding my rib cage, and I keep inhaling, expanding the top of my chest. And then when all this is full, and then I exhale, relaxing the top of my chest, and I relax my rib cage and bring my belly into the spine. It's almost like emptying it out. And then I start filling it up, almost like a water balloon, filling up from the bottom. Inhaling, belly button goes out, rib cage expands, chest expands, and then exhaling, chest goes in, ribs go in, belly go in. So it's like instead of telling my mind, don't think about anything, I'm giving my mind one thing to focus. And a lot of times we are just thinking about so many things at once. So if you give your mind one thing to focus, that's really powerful. And the same thing, let's say this microcosmic orbits, you inhale, bringing the energy from your pelvis, visualizing. You can even visualize a ball of fire or anything. Inhale, energy go up to the crown. Exhale, energy go down. Inhale, energy go up. Exhale, energy go down. So there are many breathing techniques, and again, I even have on my websites. I have 3 guided meditations. There is one that is the chakras one, that you're breathing in through each chakra and the color. So giving your mind one thing to focus, and that will help a lot of your anxiety. But the thing is, like, you have to be committed. So imagine if you go to yoga or if you go to the gym once in a week, and then you take a couple of weeks to go again, and this or that. For you to see benefits, you have to commit. And when I first started meditation, they told me the same thing to do for 21 days every day. So you create a new neural pathway. And that's what I did. And then I just kept doing. Nowadays, I may skip one day or other, really rare, but I still do meditation every day. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, if you don't have 20 minutes, you do it 5 minutes, but it's just keeping that commitment. And then you just notice meditation is balancing your energy. And the energy is always all over the place. Our mind is all over the place. So if you take that 5 minutes a day, you're going to ground yourself. You're going to balance your energy. And just by doing that, it's so simple, then everything in your day-to-day life is going to flow better because you are coming from a place of centeredness, alignment, groundness. So now the same, you're going to be in the flow. You're going to know, you're going to be able to start things and finish. You are going to be able to listen to your intuition and know where to go or who to call or who not. You're going to feel inspired just by doing that little bit of meditation every day instead of being all over the place and start something, don't finish, do something and cannot do it well. So that will be the best like tip I can give you. And yeah, and other than the meditation, yeah, if you find we have an opportunity, finds a healer to work with, that'll be really good too.
Great. Thank you so much, Mayara, for sharing
Sure.
all this information live with us.
Yeah.
Before we finish our show, I would like to give you a few minutes so you can share the contact information so our Mindalia audience knows how to find you.
Yeah. So my name is Mayara, and Mayara Healing Arts. So Mayara is Mayara. Mayara Healing Arts is my Instagram. MayaraHealingArts.com is my website. MayaraHealingArts@gmail.com is my email. I do offer in-person and long-distance sessions. So those are coaching sessions and also energy healing sessions that are to balance and clear and all there energetically. So if I can do long distance over video, or we can do in person for whoever is in Los Angeles area. And I also do workshops. I'm gonna have a online workshop on sacred sexuality and transmuting your sexual energy on August 25th. But I'm gonna be posting on my social media too. So yeah, I always do workshops or participate on events. So let's stay connected, and feel free to email me, message me, any question you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayara. Thanks so much again for being on Mindalia TV today and for sharing all this information live with us. To all our audience, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Mindalia TV Live. See you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.